Ben from Bad Movie Reviews here, your favourite materialistic man from Down Under, and I am reviewing none other than Materialists, which you all know from the title down below, but it is none other than Celine Song's directorial follow-up, or wrote and directed this film, follow-up from her previous film, I think came out 2022, Past Lives, or 2023 even, which if you haven't seen that film, please go see it. She was, I think, nominated for Best Original Screenplay along with Best Picture, and that is a phenomenal film. Also, a bit of a romantic love triangle situation, very similar to this film. But without further ado, I'll get into my thoughts. First of all, the first thing I want to touch on is the cast, and I think this cast is fantastic. I loved the film. I think Pedro Pascal is someone who is extremely talented. He's probably the most charismatic man in Hollywood at the moment. Obviously, have him leading your Last of Us TV show. You've obviously got him coming up in Fantastic Four within the next month or so. But he's extremely charismatic and charming, and a perfect role for this rich, New York private equity mogul kind of thing. Along with Dakota Johnson, who is fantastic. It doesn't take you far to go back and see her previous work and know that she is also incredibly charming while being extremely funny and charismatic herself, along with Chris Evans, which we all know and love, whether it be Captain America or his previous work, back in Scott Pilgrim and things like that. I think the cast here is excellent. I think they really, really are bringing Celine Song's script to life, and that's the best compliment I can give, because I think Celine Song, this is her second film, it's cemented a spot for me where every film coming out in the future of hers, whether she's written it or directed it, is something I'm interested and intrigued in. And I think that is purely because of her dialogue. She has phenomenal dialogue that's somewhat realistic, but also, it's extremely surreal. And her directing is fantastic. It's, everything here in the film, mind you, it's looks stunning. The film itself, obviously set in New York, but the scenery, the film, the cinematography, the score that intertwines throughout every scene. I think she's just got this brilliant, brilliant way of writing. You saw it in Past Lives. These characters, I think she realizes that the one thing in life is love that is strongest. Love is strongest, and love connects all and connects one. And I think this shows an example of her talent. It's intriguing and it's refreshing to see characters in a film like this open up and also try and attack problems rather than, shut down, and which usually you see. But what you think will be a full rom-com, and I think it's probably more rom than a comedy. There are definitely funny moments in there, and obviously the drama in there as well, but it is extremely refreshing to see also just the fact that it is somewhat of a somber look and dissection of dating and the dating life we live nowadays, and modern dating, whether it be technology or meeting someone out and about. It's the fear that humans have with this connection, and the want of being loved, but also the want of, or the fear of being not loved or worthless, or want of being valued. And it's really, somewhat shallow, like an interesting look of the shallow dating life we live nowadays, whether you're on, it even talks about it in the film, your apps or your the checked boxes, whether they're this height or make this much money or this body figure. And it's a really interesting dissection of that and how shallow that has become, while also showing, somewhat rom-com tradition, and those tropes, that it doesn't really film formulaic, but it also shows how love can come in the most unrealistic ways, or not unrealistic, but out of the blue. and can affect you in the best ways possible. It might not be what you're expecting, who you're expecting, but it brings the best out in you, blah, blah, blah. And it brings the best out in you. And I think it's just a beautifully written film. And I'm extremely pleased to see that she hasn't had, her sophomore slump, or, second year blues, as some people would call it. But I think this is a film that everyone, whether you're a rom-com lover, you'll probably love it. Whether you're someone in the modern dating scene, you'll find things that are hilarious in there. You'll find things that are really heartbreaking. I think it just perfectly, very similar to Past Lives, although vastly different film. I think it perfectly intertwines these romantic aspects while also having your comedy, having your incredible charismatic leads that you really fall and root for, while also, having outlooks on things that are happening in today's society that might change people's minds and might open them up to new horizons. And I think that's the best compliment I can give to Celine's work. And I think, it's just made me essentially really, really excited for what she has to come. I think Past Lives was a major winner for me. I think this film's also a major winner for me. I laughed. I was emotional. I had a great time. I loved the leads, opened my eyes to things, but I'd love to see what other people think about this, because I think this is a film that will naturally get people talking, which I don't think you usually get that often with romantic comedies or rom dramas of this type. But if you have seen it, I'd love to know what you think. Comment below, let me know what you think of the movie. If you like the review, please do give it a like. It does mean a lot to us, and subscribe for more.